Okay, let's start from the top with this. How important, from your perspective, are these developments regarding Lebanon?
Well, look, I mean, I think what we're seeing is in some ways a momentous change, and in some ways it's more of the same old. Who could have imagined just a handful of years ago, or even last year, that the Lebanese government would have taken a preliminary decision to disarm Hezbollah? It's pretty significant that this boldness has emerged. It's a testament to the weakened state that the organization finds itself in between the war with Israel, between the loss of its lifeline through Syria with the downfall of Bashar al-Assad and the weakening of the Iranian regime with its recent war with Israel and the decimation of most of its regional assets. So Hezbollah is in a squeeze, and it has one card to rely on that it's pushing back on. Now, look, I like to say I'm not the confessor of Lebanese president or the prime minister. I don't know what's in their heart of hearts. Part of me feels, I'll admit, that this is the same old Lebanon that is trying to buy time with empty gestures and wait until international attention just moves elsewhere. Hey, we're talking to Hezbollah. We have to talk it out. We don't want to lead the civil war. I mean, this is the talk that kept Lebanon from disarming Hezbollah for the 18 years between 2006 and 2023, when the most recent war erupted. We're seeing a little bit of that. That's still there. So it's problematic, but at the same time, there is more potential today for Lebanon to do something than at any point in the past. So those two things are in competition.
Yeah, and so I mean, I take from what you're saying that because in the past, look, the Lebanese military didn't really have the ability to unilaterally disarm Hezbollah. That wasn't going to happen, right? I mean, the Lebanese military was very famously kind of second to Hezbollah. But so it's more about the weakening that's taken place, certainly rather than any sort of change of heart or any. I don't want to sound too cynical, but this is not about various factions in Lebanon thinking we want to move in the right direction and do what's best for our citizens. This is more about an opportunity because Hezbollah has been hit so hard over the past year and a half.
I think, look, the cynicism is largely justified. I think there's partially that. Look, when dealing with Hezbollah, when wanting to disarm Hezbollah, the question is always it's kind of a calculus or a balance of pain. On the one hand, you have the trouble that you're going to have to go through to disarm Hezbollah, and part of it is, like you touched on, it's Hezbollah's military strength that's been degraded. But the other part of it that hasn't been degraded, we've seen no indication that it's been degraded, is Hezbollah's vast Shiite support. Right? They brought out, according to Information International, the Lebanese consultancy group, about 900,000 people, minimum, almost 700,000 people to Nasrallah's funeral. They swept the municipal elections, right? We haven't seen the massive uprisings of Shiites or even any uprisings of Shiites of any considerable number against Hezbollah saying, hey, you destroyed our lives. We don't want you anymore. So that's still in Hezbollah's back pocket. And when you, as the Lebanese, have to go against Hezbollah, you're not just worried about the organization, its military strength, you're worried about that entire deep support base that could lead you to civil war. So that's on the one hand. So you have civil war on the one hand. On the other hand, you have the pain brought by Israeli military. The longer Hezbollah remains armed, the more it provokes Israel, the more Israel is going to attack. There's going to be future wars. Now there's an additional additional factors on the calculus of pain for Lebanon. It's the fact that the international community, for some time now, is saying, hey, we're not playing along with this anymore, right? Lebanon's economy collapses in 2019. Lebanon is desperate for funds. It's desperate for assistance. None of its traditional financiers are coming to help. The United States is saying no international aid until there's overhaul of the system. The Gulf states are saying no money because we see Hezbollah. So you have to weigh these calculus of pain, which is going to be more painful for you, to endure the lack of assistance and potentially more Israeli military pressure, or to go toe-to-toe with Hezbollah. And that's where we are. And it's that calculus of pain that's motivating the Lebanese more than anything. And what's going to push them forward or hold them back is which one weighs heavier on their decision-making.
Okay. For the benefit of the viewers, can you give us, in sort of short order, I know that's not easy, but give us a sort of an overview of the complications of the Lebanese political scene, the various factions that are involved. And we don't need to go all the way back in history, but I think it would be beneficial for the viewers to understand exactly how complex it is there.
Look, I mean, Lebanon is a country that its identity is still in formation. To speak of a unified Lebanese national identity, I think is premature. The country is pieced together by a sectarian power sharing system that allocates to each sect prerogatives, right? Protections, prerogatives, right? The Maronites get the presidency, the Sunnis get the premiership, the Shiites get the Speaker of Parliament. And who specifically gets that among the, from among that sect, which Maronite gets it, which Sunni gets it, which Shiite gets it, depends on, it doesn't just go to the sect, it goes to basically these subsectarian feudal warlords, for lack of a better descriptor. And they take their sect's share, and they have the interest of the sect at heart. At least they pretend to have the interest of the sect at heart. That's what they sell their people on. This is what they're representing. So, any decision because of that, because Lebanon is so delicately held together in that way, any decision must be made by sectarian consensus, must be made by getting all the agreement of all these subsectarian feudal warlords to say, hey, agree on this. Now, when it comes to Hezbollah's disarmament, it's a momentous decision. The Shiites in this case we don't know how big the demographic breakdown in Lebanon is, because 1932 is the last census, and even that's questionable. But we assume the Shiites, right? There's an assumption the Shiites are the largest sect, or the largest growing sect. So if you're Hezbollah, you have a substantial number of these people in your pocket. The other part of the Shiite coin is Amal, right? The secular Lebanese analog to Hezbollah, but that's working in lockstep with Hezbollah. So right now, the government needs to make this decision. They need to have a Shiite voice. And both Amal and Hezbollah are depriving it of that Shiite voice. So that leaves it complicated, because in the Lebanese national psyche, the civil war that happened not that long ago, not like our civil war here in the United States, there's still people in living memory who experienced it, who fought it. That weighs on their mind. If you touch a sect's prerogatives, you could lead to civil war.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button and leave a comment, a really positive, nice, and kind comment. That would be appreciated. And if you're not already subscribed to our channel, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our daily updates.